So guys, if you had told me that a team that recruited the #1 player in high school, if you had told me a team has a projected top 3 pick in the 2024 NBA draft, if you had told me that they have one of the best scorers in all of college basketball, that's also a 5th-year senior with tons and tons of college basketball experience, if you told me that they had the son of this man, GOAT, the best player of all time, LeBron James, they have the son of LeBron James, who's also one of the most elite defenders, one of the best elite defenders in all of college basketball. And they have 7 top 100 recruits that came out of high school. And that team that I just described would go 5-5 in the first half of the season, with all 5 wins coming from boo-boo, garbage, trash teams that's not even ranked. And most of their losses came from unranked teams. And this team that I just described would be playing the worst, or one of the worst, basketball in the entire nation, bro. Guys, I know damn well nobody and their mama would believe me. And guys, y'all can call me crazy, y'all can call me delusional, y'all can call me whatever you want to say. Y'all can say I'm jumping the gun, say what you want to say, bruh. I don't care. I personally feel like I've seen everything that I needed to see with my own 2 eyeballs and my own 2 eye sockets about this USC team. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, I'm like this close, bro. This close of honestly giving up on this team. And I feel like I might be able to confidently say that this USC team, they just might miss the March Madness tournament. And like I said in my past video, instead of USC playing in a March Madness tournament in March, Isaiah Kohler and Bronny James, they probably gonna be playing in the intramural championship at USC in their dorm halls, bro. So guys, that's the thing. Y'all know me, bro. I'm an advocate, bro. I personally believe in politics whenever it comes to basketball. And I really do think that even applies to this man, Bronny James. And I've been a person that's loudly said it. The fact that this man, Bronny James, is LeBron James' son, he's probably gonna get drafted mainly because of that. Although I do think his talent level is definitely there to become a draft pick. Let's be honest, mainly due to the fact that LeBron James said that whatever team this man Bronny James gets drafted to, he's probably going to be playing for that team as well. So I think mainly due to that, Bronny James is probably going to get drafted. And see, that's the thing. I kind of believe that in regards to politics with this team as a whole. Like, I will admit, I initially thought that this USC team would probably be getting some votes from the boardrooms and they would consider USC as a top 25 team, or these head of offices people would probably place them in the March Madness tournament to be a top 64 team. I'm telling you, that's honestly how I personally felt at first. But now, after the beginning of the season, after playing 10 games, bro, let's be very truthful in this video. I feel like we can all agree that USC is playing so bad right now that even the head offices, whoever determines the rankings, all of that, they honestly could not get away with putting USC as a top 25 team and also putting them in the March Madness tournament. And y'all know, bro, sometimes you can get away with that if the team that you're ranking is making some sort of case. But with this USC team, bro, this USC team unfortunately just has not done a single thing to be placed as one of the best teams in the country. And if the March Madness tournament started today in December, bro, let's be honest, this USC team would not be competing in March Madness. And like I said, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be calling me crazy, probably saying that I'm jumping the gun, but you guys got to understand where I'm coming from. So let's take a step back, let's dissect the situation, and let's really understand what makes this USC team so bad, why they've been struggling, and how can they overcome this tough start to their season. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I feel like we've all said this multiple times. I mean, one thing you just cannot deny about this USC team, this team has talent. Like I said, they have 7 top 100 ranked players that came out of high school. As you can see here, being Isaiah Kohler, Bronny James, Vince Iwuchukwu, hopefully I'm saying his name right, Boogie Ellis, Arrington Page, Kijani Wright, Brandon Gardner. Guys, that's a lot of talent. But despite everything that I just said, essentially what can make a team that has a ton of talent just play so bad? It's an actual question that I want you guys to answer in the comments. But I personally feel like a lot of the answers that most people are probably going to give me, you guys are probably going to say maybe their play styles don't mesh, maybe their egos are getting intact, maybe they just don't have shooting. It could be this, it could be that. There's really a lot of answers that you really could give me. But personally, I personally feel like this USC team is just not playing good, mainly due to their continuity and also their coaching. Guys, just based on what I've personally seen anytime I watch this team, especially especially when it comes to how this team is running their offense. Whenever it comes to how this team is running their offense, how they're playing defense, the confusions on both sides of the ball, the non-communication, the non-leadership, the shot selection, the type of plays that this team runs, the questionable rotations that this team kind of orchestrates in. Guys, there's just a lot of improvements that this team needs to make in every single portion that I just alluded to. And guys, it's basketball. This team obviously needs some time to gel together, but when it's been 10 games and you're not doing the basic essentials when it comes to basketball and your team still hasn't found their identity, like I said, to me, it just a little bit is concerning. If you want me to be completely honest, I just personally feel like they just don't know how to use Mr. Isaiah Kohler to the best of his ability. And then obviously he needs to improve as an overall player as well. But as the lead guard on a team, and also as a pass first point guard and a player that is advertised the way Isaiah Kohler is, you just cannot average 4.1 assists a game. I've personally been on record saying that Isaiah Kohler is easily one of the best pure point guards within the last 10 years, but just averaging 4 assists is just not gonna cut it. Some players that I feel like are very similar to Isaiah Kohler in regards to their hype when it comes to their pass first ability, guys like Trae Young in my opinion comes to mind, John Morant as well. But the thing is, those guys were averaging over 10 assists a game and they were not playing with nationally ranked players. This man Isaiah Kohler is literally averaging more turnovers than assists. And like I said, he's only averaging 4 assists a game, 4.4 turnovers a game. And I feel like that's just a huge problem. And with the talent level that Isaiah Kohler is playing with, you just cannot average 4 assists. That's just not enough. I really look at Isaiah Kohler very similar to a player like a Jalen Suggs whenever he was in college. He was a guy that could make great, incredible passes. He had high IQ, but he just didn't have the shot making ability at the same time. It's also kind of crazy that they're averaging very similar numbers whenever Jalen Suggs was in college, but that's something that I do want to talk about in a whole nother video. So let me know if you guys want a more in-depth video on Isaiah Kohler. Now, like I said in my past video, I've always had questions initially about if Boogie Ellis and Isaiah Kohler could honestly coexist, especially due to the fact that Boogie Ellis just has a very ball dominant type of play style. And the fact that Isaiah Kohler is a player that just needs the ball to be effective on the court. He's not a guy that's a stand and shoot type of guy, or he's not a 3-and-D type of guy. He needs the ball to kind of run the offense through him to really be effective on the floor. Boogie Ellis, he's definitely been able to adjust in my opinion, but I think Isaiah Kohler needs to just play a lot better and just improve on a lot of different angles on the floor. Like I said, I do think coaching also has to do with this as well. The fact that Isaiah Kohler and Boogie Ellis haven't been coexisting to the best of their abilities, at least in my opinion, I do think the coach needs to let this man Boogie Ellis come off the bench and start a player like a Bronny James who doesn't really need the ball to be effective. But when you have 2 ball dominant type of guards on your team, it's going to be very hard for those 2 players to really coexist. I think you guys already know my opinions when it comes to Bronny James on this team. I mean, I know he is a plug and play type of player, but I just don't think that he's going to be utilized the best, at least just what we've been seeing so far. I know he's on a minutes restriction, but I do want to give Bronny James a couple more games to get a little bit more adjusting to the collegiate level. So we'll hold off on my opinions on Bronny James so far right now. But regardless, like I said, he's still an NBA type player that I think is probably going to get drafted in this up and coming draft. I really do think the way that the bigs on this team is playing, it's just not going to cut it to compete with those top tier college basketball teams. I mean, I've said it in my previous video, the fact that Kobe Johnson is averaging the most rebounds on this team and he's not even a forward or he's not even a center on your team. He's a 6'6" small forward on your team. He's averaging the most rebounds and he's only averaging 5 a game. That's just not going to cut it. And Morgan, Kajani Wright, the rest of the crew, they just got to play a lot better. They play great whenever it comes to blocks and whatnot, but as far as inserting yourself as a dominant rim protector and a dominant center on both sides of the ball, they just have to play better. And 5 rebounds as the most rebounds for your team, it's just not gonna go. But like I said, I do think it all starts from the coaching. I think the play styles needs to improve, the rotations got to improve. Somebody needs to take ownership and leadership of this team and really just hit the switch. I mean, guys, you guys are 5-5 as we're recording this video. That's just not gonna cut it. So hopefully they can turn things around. Hopefully they can make the March Madness tournament, but only time will tell. Let me know what you guys think about this USC team. Do you think they're going to improve? And I'll see you guys in the next one.